What is going on, guys? Winner Kills here. Welcome to another post-commentary duel video. We've got a interesting matchup today, sort of Atlantean Mermail versus DDD. Me playing Mermail on the right and my brother playing DDD on the left. This is my still going second build of Mermail. No link spam, none of that. I mean, even with Gumblar being banned now, I guess that's something to be really happy about, which is nice for me though, because I have been playing Mermail for the past couple months without Gumblar. I've moved away from the extra deck, extra link stuff and Gumblar spam stuff before you really had to, so I'm glad I'm kind of ahead of the curve on that because I knew it was just a matter of time. But yeah, also real quick shout out to our sponsor Imperium Duelist. You guys know, providing some incredible sleeves with effects like the sleeves we're using here in this video, and beautiful playmats like the Dragon Scale playmat we had in the last video, the Tour Guide playmat here, the Millennium playmat, tons of other cool playmats on their website which you can check out down in the description below, and use that code to save 10% on all future purchases if you'd like to do so. But DDD winning the dice roll, or Mermail, I guess the dice roll in this matchup doesn't matter a whole lot, mainly because both decks will get their way regardless of the outcome. If I win the dice roll, I want to go second, and he will have to go, and he will get to go first, which he wants to do anyways, and vice versa. If he wins the dice roll, he'll get to go first, making me go second, which is something I want to do anyways there. So there's a bit of delay going to Link Karibo there because I had to find another one to put in his extra deck because I have multiple decks that run Link Karibo at this point. So sometimes I have to swap some things out. That's why I find myself owning multiple copies of cards, because it is a pain trying to, you know, play a bunch of decks together, and then decks have to swap cards, and a certain deck can't play against a certain deck because they each have cards of their own, which is why I always have to order multiples, as I've said. Just had to grab a quick Link Karibo there. But Dark Contract getting him a Search of Lamia, and then the saving grace, I would say, for this play here is Dark Contract with a Swamp King, allowing him to get the Necro Slime and the Lamia to his graveyard. We see that DD Ghost there having to be banished off the Allure of Darkness earlier in the turn. Unfortunate that there is no other banished DD or Dark Contract cards for it to return to the graveyard. I don't think there's any other way he could have timed that, unless he wanted to exhaust a Lamia and then use his Allure, but maybe there were some combo pieces he needed, you know, from that Allure of Darkness that just had to be played first. But either way, an early Lamia with D-Arc going into Siegfried and Link Karibo. Now, Siegfried against a lot of decks isn't usually that big of a deal in the double set there. But Siegfried usually isn't that big of a deal, but here it ends up being a big deal because some of the most important spell cards in my deck are cards like Moray of Greed and One for One, which are very, very easy targets for him to pick out, and he negates the Moray of Greed, which is, you know, a big, big problem for me, as I normal summon Neptibus to follow up, hoping, really hoping, there isn't a Call by the Grave there, but it probably is, unless it's like a set Allure or something like that. I don't really play any traps in my DDD deck, so any set card usually ends up being Called by the Grave, which, you know, doesn't allow Dragoons to go through here. I do get to add off the Prince, which will add me Marksman, but unfortunately Dragoons will get banished, and that will not allow me to search to continue my plays there, which is really, really rough. Called by the Grave against Dragoons has always been very, very difficult to play around. It's one of those things that's going to happen if you play against somebody and they know anything about Mermail. Hitting the Dragoons is just a thing that they're going to do, as I go ahead and link away Prince into a Link Karibo, because I figured it's something and that's better than nothing. I'd rather not just leave Prince there for him to ravage completely with whatever play he's going to make this turn. Standby phase, he will take the 1,000 from Dark Contract, but he'll also get a Search. I'm debating on what he's going to search now. Looks like it's going to be DD Lamia. He'll normal that to his field, and now, not wasting any more time, going into a Link 2 for Lanfarincus, which I have proceeded to play over Wee Witch because there's countless times where Lanfarincus is just a better, more accessible option because it doesn't have the restriction that Wee Witch does that says you need 2 dark monsters. So sometimes it is very, very helpful to have the Lanfarincus in the deck anyways. So Called by the Grey attempts to activate there, and Siegfried says no. I figured I might as well use it there. Arguably, I could have saved it, but it, you know, it's going to get negated either way. That's the way I look at it. As we see a meteor burst coming down and being made with the Genghis and Lamia, that is going to revive on summon the Ragnarok from his pendulum scale. Now, he could have used the effect here to revive Genghis on the summon of the Ragnarok, which I'm pretty sure he could have done, but I guess did not. And so a little bit of a misplay there, but it's not really going to make too big of a difference, because luckily for me, Adai's Meteor Burst Dragon can attack the turn that he does that effect, where he brings out something from the scale into the main monster zone. And Meteor Burst is also preventing me from using Link Kuriboh as well, which is important to take note, which is why I did not use it there, in case you were wondering. So yeah, even if you would have brought out the Genghis, I'd still be at a measly 100 life points here, which still allows me to draw for turn and try to play some Yu-Gi-Oh here going into this next turn. He does have a spell trap negation. He does have a monster removal for next turn. I get my turn started with infantry into dragoons to get that extra normal summon. Go for a Shudo play here, targeting dragoons, trying to get some synchro plays happening. Just anything really, because the extra infantry on my board here will help for some synchro plays if Mermail does get to come out. So Yazi's on the board now, which is really nice. Use that effect to clear itself and the Siegfried on the side of the field. Mermail goes to activate Engrave, and there's another call by the Grave, unfortunately putting a stop to my play yet again, because after it is destroyed, hits the graveyard, effect to activate, call by, saying no to that effect, and we go ahead into game 2, as he would next turn be top decking a Copernicus, and just being able to go into battle phase immediately and attack for plenty of damage. So here we are in game 2, and he will be going first, starting with the 1-for-1 discarding a Necro Slime and normal summoning Kepler. Kepler adding Dark Contract, as he often does, and Dark Contract is going to get him a search of DD Lamia. So here he opens up pretty well. It's a play that doesn't seem like from the start, just looking at the hand that he opened, doesn't seem like a play that could turn into anything too ridiculous. Or, you know, looks like one of those hands that could only produce a lackluster play. But DDD is one of those decks that I love so much because the way it combos is so fluid. One card goes into another, and another card brings out another, and eventually you slowly start building this really, really powerful field, whether you're doing it through Genghis and Diarch and Gale, or you're using Pendulum plays through Electromite and, Adai's Absolute Dragon, all these things. There's so many plays to be made. So the Genghis comes down, Lamia is summoned to the field via Swirl Slime, and Swirl Slime will trigger the Lamia summon will trigger the Genghis to bring out the Necro Slime, which will allow him to link into Land Pharynchus, then synchroning into Gale Alexander, and then fusion summoning with 2 Necro Slimes from Grave, or Necro Slime and Genghis as it would be, to go into a DR here, which is going to allow him to trigger the effect of Gale Alexander to bring out a level 4 lower DD, in this case Lamia, and then here synchroning into Crystal Wing with those, then using the Lamia's effect here at the very end to send Dark Contract and synchroning itself with Diarch and Lamia for none other than Siegfried, Cursed King Siegfried, hitting the field, putting out a easy monster negation and a spell trap negation. 1 card still left in hand, and a Necro Slime Engraved to follow up for next turn. And I did not open up this that well this game. I opened up double Aqua Spirit, which I believe I'm cutting for 2 new cards, or not 2 new cards, 1 new card, Lapis Dragon, that's being called Savage Strike, and I'm also going to play the Salvage also for when Lapis Dragon comes out, because Salvage and Lapis Dragon go very well together, as I'm sure most of you know. Probably the only changes I'm making in the main deck post Savage Strike is adding in 1 Lapis Dragon and adding in the Salvage. A little bit of change into the extra deck, adding a Cyber's Quantum Dragon, of course. Quantum Dragon will fit really well into Mermail's post Savage Strike. Cannot wait for Savage Strike to release. I've got plenty of cards I need to get on my shopping list, if you will. 1-for-1 comes down here, discarding cost, sending to the graveyard for cost, I should say. Either way, doesn't matter if it's cost or not. Siegfried says no to the 1-for-1, just like Crystal Wing said no to my Teus search. Summoning that other Aqua Spirit, giving me some room to play here to run over his Lanfarinkus, and he'll take 400 points of damage. Lanfarinkus only has 1200 attack, not too big of a threat on the field stat-wise, but I could have used, you know, my Aqua Spirit and Stand My Face to try to turn the Crystal Wing to defense, or Siegfried, but of course that would have just gotten negated and left me open for more damage. And right now, with Aqua Spirit only being a level 4, I'm safe from the effect where he will be able to boost his attack if he would be attacking over level 5 or higher. So I'm safe from that. Now debating if he wants to use the Link Karibo effect, which I believe this is like one of the first times he's ever used that effect of Link Karibo, to tribute a level 1 to summon itself to the field. Just easy access to get Lamia and Grave here, might as well do it, and putting Link Karibo back on your field is never a bad idea, because that's just something that you can drop any attacking monster to 0 with, which could prove some trouble for me since my deck likes to put out monsters that like to attack for a lot of damage. Fusion summoning of the Genghis here going through, and then Swirl Slime being sent to the graveyard for Lamia to be able to synchro into Odd-Eye's Meteor Burst Dragon, allowing him to put in more damage here, swinging in with all of those, dropping me to 1,000 life points. And now I have one draw left, one card in hand. Not a whole lot I can do in this position. Even if I top deck Prince, it wouldn't be too big of a deal. Teus getting summoned, getting negated, and that is all she wrote for that one. Don't worry, Mermails will come back with a vengeance in a future video. I had a couple other matches recorded, but with, you know, the ban list just coming out and how the scheduling is going to go, I think those videos won't go up until after the new ban list is in effect, and those duels that were played out had brilliant fusions in them at 3, soul charges being played, things of that nature, and they will just be past due, which is unfortunate because I thought I'd be ahead on duels, but luckily I've got a couple that I can still upload to you guys. But hope you guys enjoyed the video nonetheless. Don't forget to follow me on social medias, Facebook, Twitter, join the Discord, follow me on Twitch if you haven't already, and check out Imperium Duelist, also making amazing gaming products if you want to check them out. Again, links in the description to that for more information. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, leave a like if you did, and Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you in the next one.